Welcome everyone to my new educational materials. Scramble here with another TickTick trader video presentation on 150k and 250k accounts comparison. I'd like to walk you through the process and share with you the most important details from different corners, from discussions that are not that usual. This is something that allows you to make the best decisions into grabbing the best account you consider for yourself. Currently, TickTick Trader is the best instant funded prop firm existent in the market, guys. So I'm going to walk you through the process, as well do some comparisons at some point in the upcoming days between TickTick Trader and other instant funded prop firms and so on. We're going to have a lot to talk about it. By the way, for those of you that would like to grab your accounts, make sure to utilize the code SCRAMBLE for instant funded. You get the maximum discount available, and you can join my Discord for a constructive community of traders. This is the link in the comments area for all the details. Right, so let's get into guys and talk about it. As you know, they allowed the Project X platform in terms of trading, Trade Evade within the trader as well. So you have two different ways or three different ways to handle that. And we're going to talk about the 150 and 250k. We're not talking about 100k because this is totally inefficient from financial standpoint. It is just a gap of $49 in the price, and the distance in the payout is $1,000 more, right? So obviously for an extra $49 in terms of the distance in the price, you get an extra $1,000 at the cash out on each cycle. So that is a huge difference, which makes the 100k inefficient from my standpoint. Let's get into the details, fellas, and take it step by step. I'm gonna grab my brush and talk about it, right? So 150k on the left side, 250k account on the right side. The price is $4.89 right now, but the price is changing. Depends what discount is available. 30, 35%, 40%, it depends. With Scramble, you always get the max discount available by the platform. $999 is the price on the other side, because most of the time the 250k is not discounted by the platform. So even by using the coupon, you don't get it a discount because it do not exist. Right, so this is how it is most of the time on 250k. Payout threshold, 7,500, 12,500 on the other side. What does it mean? It means 5% of the account size on both places. So it's the same. You shouldn't be scared about a higher value due to the fact that even your account is actually higher. So what matters at the end of the day, if you work by percentages, which is how we traders work, is the percentage value. And that's the same. 5% of the account size is the payout threshold. Payout threshold means once you bring your account to that specific threshold by respecting 20% consistency, you qualify for a payout. That is the time you can request a payout once hitting that value. Upcoming cycle payout thresholds, which is the next thing we're looking at, means the second or any subsequent or any upcoming payout request that you're doing you must earn during that cycle, during those cycles, that specific value, $3,000 on one side, $5,000 on the other side. Right, so let's put it that way, very practical. You brought your first payout threshold, you reached to 7,500, which means for 150k you made it to 157,500. You cashed out $3,000, which is the max payout for that account. Remains 154,500. Now you have to produce the $3,000 in as many days as you want, but you got to respect 20% consistency, which tells me the minimum trading days right there is 5 trading days. Mathematically cannot be done faster, but let's put that way, you go for 6 days or 7 days, and after 6-7 days, if you made $3,000, you're able to request $3,000 again. On the other side, on the 250k, you got to produce $5,000 in this period, and then ongoingly from there, just 5 grand or 3 grand on this side, and you're good to go. This is daily max loss 3,750. With end of the day drawdown, which is the max loss, 7,500. The max loss is 1-to-1 with the payout threshold, guys. Keep in mind, comparing with other firms or stuff like that, the payout threshold or the max loss is 1-to-1 value right? This is very important to know about. The daily max loss is always half of your total max loss or end of the day max loss. It's half of it. The max loss is 5% basically, just like the payout threshold we've discussed. So the number is changing, of course, because we speak about the bigger accounts, but the idea stays the same. 5% right there and 2.5 on the daily max loss. Consistency is the same, 20%, no big deal here. Payout frequency anytime. As long as you've touched your threshold and you got your 20% respected, you can request a payout anytime, as many times you want during a month or so. There is no payout windows or there is no max payout request per month or anything like that. Great. Max accounts 3. This is limited by the platform. As per 2025 on TickTick Trader, you can have a maximum of 3 instant funded account. Beautiful. That's the same on both scenarios. And then we got the max payout, $3,000 on 150K, $4,000 on the 250K. As you need to know, this is the max payout and this is what you request. But there is a payout split, which means 90% to you, 10% back to the platform. So you're receiving 2,700 and 3,600 on the other side. This is how much you're receiving because there is a profit ratio split between you as a trader and the platform at the time you reach payout. And that is a 10% ratio. Great. Now, other things basically that are not that general and where the discussion begins and where things are pretty much more interesting is the price per payout ratio. 5.52 for a 150K account and 3.60 for the 250K account, which means we're paying $489 for an account and we're cashing out 2,700. This gives us a ratio of 5.52 times than what we pay. So we have a better return on what we pay compared to on the 250K. So here the 150K has a better return on the investment, and this is the ratio of 5.52. This is what it shows you. On the other side is 3,600, right? This is how much you receive because of the profit split of 10%. You request 4,000, you get that. And you pay 1,999. So you get a ratio of 3.6 times, which is, of course, less on your investment. That's true. Now, if we look into the second and upcoming cycle payouts, second, third, fourth, and so on, the ratio you have to earn compared to what you cash out is 1-to-1 on the 150K. So you got to earn 3,000 and you always cash out 3,000. Meanwhile, on the other side is 0.8. You have to earn 5,000 and you can have a max payout of 4,000, right? So you have to produce $1,000 more in this case scenario for the 250K account that you cash out, which is something people might say, why would I work extra in a such cycle without being able to take everything out? You're not able to take everything out on a 250K because you're limited to 4,000 and they request you 5,000. So it depends how you want to see this. If you want to have maximum efficiency on the concept of taking everything out, then 150K. If you say value in terms of 3,600 is much bigger than the value of 2,700, then of course 250K right there speaks for it. Because the total payouts per cycle, what do I mean by this? Assuming you got a maximum of 3 accounts. So you have 2,700 times 3 on 150K, which means 8,100. This is the maximum you can cash out in a single cycle with all the 3 accounts. Assuming you do copy trading, you trade it nicely for 6-7 days, and you're going for the payout. The max payout is 8,100. As we already know, there is a maximum of 6 payouts before they move you to live. So I've calculated with that. 6 payouts per this accounts result in $48,600, right? $48,600 is the maximum you can grab if you start from scratch, or if you go basically simply 3 accounts from the beginning, copy trading them or not. That's your decision, but this is the maximum amount of money you can take out, $48,600 from TTT in terms of this kind of straight to funded simulation accounts. Then of course you go to live trading and the doors are opening in a total different way. We're going to have a video about that one as well in terms of the live trading on TTT, conditions and whatnot. But the idea here is specifically on this comparisons between these two accounts. You also have basically the numbers on the other side, 3,600 per account times 3 accounts means 10,800. So there is already a difference here. You can cash out more money, right? You can actually cash out $2,700 more each round. You multiply that 6 times basically, because you can do max 6 payouts. And actually totally, if you do the math with 10,800, this is going to be $64,800, the maximum amount of money you can cash out with this, guys. And there is a gap. I made the math here between 64,800 and 48,600, right? So the maximums on both sides. The 250K gives you more for sure, of $16,200 more. This is how much you can make more here. Now, the discussion is about advantages and disadvantages that you, in a custom, subjective way, you might enjoy. Depends what are you looking at. If you look at efficiency in terms of price per investment and risk ratio, then you got a 1-to-1 move. You have a 5.52% right there on the ratio. You pay $489 and you take out $2,700 minimum, of course, because then multiplied 6 times, you're a lot more. So you have basically the concept of efficiency right there on better numbers for 150K. If we add an input and we say the investment of your time, then we have to talk about the efficiency of your time. So you're spending the same amount of time, you're investing the same amount of time in terms of resources trading, but you make less with each payout, considering you work with a strategy which is just allowing you basically to reach those thresholds by percentages. You know, because you see here $5,000 extra in terms of payout threshold compared to the 150K. It doesn't mean that's harder to be achieved. And why? Because it's 5% on both sides applied to the account size. Just like the end of the day drawdown, which means the max loss is 5%, guys. So if you work with 3 contracts on 150K, on the other side, you just want to do the math to make sure you adjust your contracts to have the same ratio and earn the extra dollars like that. So this shouldn't bother you, shouldn't be a pressure on you that you got to make more money in terms of the dollar value, because this is easily adjustable simply by working with more contracts as needed. Keeping the same ratio as you would have on 150K, but adjusting because of the 250K. Right, so obviously you don't need to work with double contracts, because that would have required you to deal with an account of 300K. You only have 250K, you got to make the percentage for that and adjust like that. So you're basically having the same performance. This is why we introduced the extra input into our analysis, and we say, well, for the time you've spent, for the time you've invested into the business, indeed you have a better ratio if you just look at the ratio from this cost efficiency standpoint, but financial cost. But if you say, hey, my time is worth money as well, then what do I do? Isn't better for me to make more money during that time? Well, it is better to make more money for sure and for all of you, but you have to consider that making money for a lot of the people is not something they can do constantly. A lot of the people also lose, which is pretty much normal when it comes down to learning how to trade. When you're dealing with prop firms, when you're into this business, at the same time, you do 2 different things. You learn how to trade and you prepare for a part-time or a full-time career, which allows you to have a source of income that could be, thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands a year. but also an educational side that this specific world is having of prop firms, which is aiming to prepare you for what is about to come. The live trading point, the, normal career of a part-time or full-time trader. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be full-time here. The majority are not full-time traders. That's not an issue. The idea here is that we also have to see the value behind the education and experience and practicing, testing the waters and so on. This is basically giving people a lot of the, great feelings at the time they see these performances in their accounts. So it's also a form of lifestyle, fellas. It's a form of lifestyle which helps you to make money as well. And it's not just about, of course, making money. It's also about spending money to learn how to make money. Not possible to earn money without paying for the education. Every single minute you're spending on the markets, every single second that you're acting on the markets should be very well recorded by your mind in terms of experience and knowledge. So keep that in mind, fellas. Now, this is how we have to run the analysis and discuss about a topic. Indeed, there is the ratio with the payout, but my time is worth it as well. So let's see, where do we find our balance here? You have to make your decisions. I've always said you should go for the max out. You should go basically, if you got a little resources, you should go for the max out. You should go for the highest payouts. You should go for something that is stronger. And of course, this is give you more benefits. At the end of the day, the dollar values, right? This is what separates the two different things, the dollar. But in order for that thing to be valuable, you need to have a certain degree and a certain level of trading knowledge. Because otherwise, you're going to spend more and more money, and that is inefficient when it is more for you about learning it, right? Depends where the balance sits. Are you just making money constantly and more just by that, or you're more on the learning side of the curve? And of course, you're making payouts as well from time to time, but you're not that kind of a trader which is running through the payouts like nothing. Then, of course, the 150K is the solution. For those of you that are stronger in terms of knowledge and skills, the 250K is the solution for you guys, because that's the place where your time is going to be paid better with a higher risk as well. Which is why you can assume higher risks, because you know about yourself, you know how to trade better. This is down to the person. Most of the guys prefer 150K. There's people on 250K as well in my community. And this is just great, basically. So if you get the 250K under discount, which is appearing extremely rarely, so it's not like you're going to wait here for a week or two and you get that account for discount. No, simply, if you don't like it at this price, then jump on board on 489, 150K and do your business with that. Let the ball rolling and adjust basically as you move. You max out on 3 accounts and you're having a great journey. I mean, 8,100 in a single cycle after 6-7 days is something you can easily take it. If you run that into 8 days, you have $1,000 a day paycheck. And that's great. $1,000 a day paycheck. Consider that for 3 accounts, have a look into that. For 3 accounts, you're actually spending $1,467 on 150K, and you're taking out 8,100. So there are so many times in terms of possibilities to educate yourself, to practice and to experience these things, that there's unbelievable. There's so much time right there. 8,100 in a single payout allows you, look at that, 5.52 times. That's the idea, basically. So even if you blow 5 rounds of 489 times 3, 1,467, 5 times, 7,335. You blow 5 rounds. You don't have to do this, of course. I don't wish anyone. But the idea here of just doing examples. 7,335, we blow 5 rounds of 3 accounts. And if we get a single payout out of 6 rounds, we still got money right there. It's about $800 that we're in profit. So the ratio is amazing for 150K, guys. To learn, but at the same time make money, which is a very balanced type of threshold and ratio that you got here. Enjoy, fellas. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know any thoughts in the comments area. Put your questions right there. And of course, utilize the coupon code SCRAMBLE at checkout. The link is in the comments area to sign up and get started. The coupon is right there as well. Join my Discord community for a helpful participation, and enjoy, fellas. We're going to have a lot of the other videos as well. Comparisons, discussions about other topics, discussions, I've seen the problem with the consistency. I've seen the problem with people understanding other rules as well. There's many other videos about TickTick Trader on my account. If you care about other things, you're simply just ask me questions in the comments area and let me know about it. Have a good time, fellas. We'll talk to you soon.